Hello. I didn't think I was going to be recording anything more tonight, but I've gotten some things recently by people that are worried and concerned that the economy is going to crash here, there, or somewhere, whether the euro, the dollar, the domino effect, whatever it is. And I'm tuning into the solar plexus energy of that. And so I thought I'd do a little sharing, just what I think and feel about it. And I think the big thing is we don't want to react. As we rise up in consciousness, as we take our stance in the heart, instead of just being knee-jerk reflex reactors, we can respond. And so when I get a message from you or sometimes a comment and I don't answer it right away, it's because I put it in heart. Nothing came to me right away. So I'm giving it some time. And that works rather well for me. So I think the biggest thing I want to say is, everybody, let's set our intent to stay away from fear, stay out of fear. And you'll tune into it. And it won't, like, I'm not afraid right now, but I'm feeling that. And it's not necessarily your own fear. It can spread like a wildfire, and that's the whole mob scene, the way people will find themselves doing things that never in a million years would they have thought that they were capable of. But it's an energy force field, and it gets a hold of you, and it acts through you, and it's not really you acting there. If we stay in heart, we're not subject to that. We can perceive it, we can watch it, we can watch the thoughts and the feelings, but we don't have to participate. We don't have to believe it. Now, it's good to be prepared as well as you can. So whatever that means for you, I think at its most basic, without being either a scaredy cat or whatever you want to call it, at its most basic, it's good to have a store of dry goods, foods on hand that will last a long time. I have, just as a matter of course, I have big containers of oatmeal and various dried cereals, and it's a simple thing. It's something that, the power goes out and all that. It's not going to be damaged. It doesn't weigh a lot, and so on. So it's something that you can get some nutrients from. That it's just a good, you might want to call it a survival food. All you need is a pan and some heat, some water, and some dry cereal. And there's crackers and peanut butter are really good. These don't need to be refrigerated, or whatever kind of nut butter you want. Just have some things on hand. It's easy enough. And when some kind of a panic hits, everybody is going to the store. It's like, I live in what they call Tornado Alley here, on the edge of that. And so we're familiar with power outages and the various things that can happen. And it's so amazing when a storm's coming in or predicted, you find that the store's been bought out of milk and things like that. Your basic kind of things that people, they'll clean the shelves out just in case, they might have to go some days without being able to get around, whatever. Find your peace with this. You're not a body, and you're not subject to fear unless you choose to be. It is what it is. What's going to happen is what's going to happen, and we contribute to the best of it by staying up in the higher frequencies, because just like fear is, it will ripple and roll through, so will the energy of love, of peace, of compassion, of calm, of joy. You know, you're sending that frequency out too. And a lot of times that will help somebody not go off the deep end. You'll help stabilize people just by being and being your best, cool, calm, collected self. Now, I was just looking over a journal, so I think I'm going to combine this live bit and this journal. This is from 9/11. You know, this is interesting that I should just happen to have this up and then get these emails with people sharing these things with me. This is from 9/11/2010. The second one of that day, the Mayan day, was for rabbit or star, and it's called Finding the Ocean of Peace, Taking a Swim. Let's go. The last couple of journals I've written have been examining time, among other things, of course. These journals range widely. Excuse me, I'm zooming a bit to make it easier to read. Okay, they range widely. You never know where they're going to go. I wonder why time is coming up now. Well, it does make some mind sense, but I don't really rely on that. It makes mind sense since having had the experience of the union of all of my lifetimes, my past lifetimes, just a few days ago. And the links to these various transcripts are in the transcript on Scribed. It's a bit odd, though, since I've known this thing about all the lifetimes being now for some time, so that's not new with me. No doubt, though, it helped open the door to that very special experience, not as the reason for it, just as the removal of blocks or limitations to it. The closer we can get in our understanding to approximating the way things really are, that unlocks and opens so many exciting doors for us. It's just constantly amazing, that's all. That's what walking the spiritual path is supposed to do for us, bring us to truth, capital T, as close as we can come, and closer each day and each moment to that. When we come into consonance, into resonance with truth, any aspect of truth, it makes a shift in our being. It opens us into the larger being that is there everywhere, just awaiting our discovery. We're playing peekaboo with Source every day, everywhere. Source is truth, of course. Source is all the highest virtues. Those are just words we place on divinity, though. It's much higher, much holier than we know yet in the conscious mind, which can't contain these things anyway. And that's fine. The conscious mind was not made to contain the fullness of divinity that you are, that I am, that is the one. We got the cart before the horse somehow. Horses aren't very good pushers of carts. They don't like it much. The harness don't work that way. Makes them think we're pretty stupid too. Smart horse. So, are you in heart with me here? The journals are so much more fun that way. We speak another language, really, from heart. It shares the same words, the same conventions as the usual language, but it's not the same, not at all. The meanings are so much deeper and vaster. It's just mind-boggling and quite enjoyable. The most enjoyable part for me is when I feel you understand it. When I feel you coming along with me in heart, I get the sense of that, and it's marvelous. Well, maybe not the most enjoyable part. Heaven knows I have overabundant joy in this life that I lead here. Who knows why? I don't care anyway. It is what it is, and I just rejoice. Another deeper element of joy that enters in is when you begin to be thankful even for the most difficult stuff as it comes along. When you find yourself becoming desireless, well, that's a very special time too. as you realize, perhaps suddenly, that it doesn't matter to you what happens. Well, that's pretty stunning. We are like Krishnamurti Jiddu, who said his big secret was that he didn't mind what happens. And that's a mouthful. If you're in heart, then you can get this. It's really quite huge. You find all you're left with is preferences, no desires, outside of God, that is. That desire burns hotly. But for your life, you truly don't care. Let what happens happen. Your peace is undisturbed. Oh, your life may well be disturbed, quite disturbed on the surface. You may lose your house, your job, have a wreck, get divorced. Any of the various possibilities here in the changeable kingdom, you're left unmoved. You walk through it deep inside in peace. You just do what you have to do there in each moment. But within, you are conscious of peace. And of course, this was back in September, and we weren't so close to the faulty finances. We weren't so aware of it back then, but that's another possibility. No. This is where you come to deeper realization of how the surface of your life is just that, a superficial appearance. It has nothing to do, really, with the real you. That's safe, locked deep inside, and these are just words, untouchable by any outward appearing. Nothing shatters that peace. Now, don't let mind into this. Mind wants to think it can understand things, but it can't, of course. Ever remember this, and practice the mantra for mind if you like. Mind, you're full of it, and everything you believe is garbage. Begin teaching mind its right place in your life, in the back seat, not the driver's seat. Thanks very much, dear mind, but behave. One day it will listen. Mind will surprise you. You will see. Just persist. It will happen for you. Just don't be afraid. Anything that arouses fear is a lie. You just know that, remaining unshakable. One day you realize that all fear is of mind, and that's not you. So very simple it is, but the mental comprehension isn't that. It's much deeper. You'll just know. Okay, so you're walking around in this amazing peace. You don't know where it came from. It's truly amazing. Well, that's heart, my friends. You've made deep contact. Welcome home. What else needs to be said? Good day. And that's how I closed it. So whatever happens, you can't be killed. You are eternal. And we do our best here for ourselves, for our near and dear ones, and for Gaia, for the world, for life. And the best way to do that is to stay in heart. And it's good to be a good Boy Scout, a good Girl Scout, and to have some basic preparedness. You know, have a backpack, have some things set aside, have some warm coats. It's not a bad idea to travel with a coat and a blanket in the trunk, just survival things. If you get a down coat, it can smash down into very little space. Tuck it away in a bag, and it'll just be there in case the need ever comes up. And just not to worry. Perhaps spend some time disidentifying from the body and realizing that we're not that. We can expand out to encompass all of Gaia, all of the solar system, all of the galaxy, the universe, the cosmos. We are not that. And yet, I am that. So, enjoy the mystery. Enjoy the paradox. See you soon.